This question is on Parajumble, and the question says that there are four sentences given to us, and we have to arrange them to form a coherent paragraph. So this is the job that is required of us, to form a coherent paragraph, and we have only four sentences, so this should not be a time consuming affair, and we must immediately look out for those sentences that you think are likely to open the paragraph and start creating pairs. So if you look at the sentence number one, it says self-management is thus defined. So this cannot be the opening sentence because it has a concluding adverb. It shows that it's kind of a conclusion that might come either at the end of the paragraph or in between, but definitely not at the start of the paragraph. It cannot be the opening sentence, right? So if you go to 2, it says most people with progressive diseases like dementia prefer to have control over their own lives and health care for as long as possible. So this seems to be a good idea and is likely to open the paragraph. And if you look at 3, it says having control means, so among other things, that patients themselves perform. So the whole idea that you're talking about patients means basically that you're referring to those kind of people who are most people with progressive diseases like dementia. So when you talk about the patients, you must be referring to some kind of patient, right? So having control refers to what? Prefer to have control. And patients here basically means most people who are having the diseases like dementia. So the people with the disease are the patients and they prefer to have control, and this having control means has been explained. So what exactly do you mean by having control? Having control basically means patients themselves perform self-management activities. So we know that statement 2 and 3 definitely form a pair because they go together. Most people with diseases like dementia prefer to have control, and having control means that patients themselves perform self-management activities. Now we can either have 1 or we can have 4 because 1 is the conclusion and 4 is this. But there is no rule that says that conclusion always comes at the end of the paragraph. You have to look at the contents of the sentence. So if you look at 1, it says self-management is thus defined as the individual's ability to manage the symptoms, treatment, physical and psychosocial consequences and lifestyle changes inherent in living with a chronic condition. Supporting people in decisions and actions that promote self-management is called self-management support. So the author in this sentence is not talking about self-management, he's talking about self-management support. So he says supporting people in decisions that promote self-management is called self-management support, requiring a cooperative relationship between the patient, the family and the professionals. So you talk about self-management here, and in this you talk about self-management support. And this self-management is in tune with what comes in 2 and 3. Because 2 says prefer to have control. Having control means what? Self-management. And self-management is thus defined as. So statement 3 and statement 1, they both speak about self-management. On the other hand, 4 is about self-management support. So we know that 3 and 1 form a pair because they both go in the same direction, talking about what? Self-management. And then you have 4 in the end, which says what self-management support is all about. So 2, 3, 1 is basically self-management, where patients want to be in control of whatever they have in their hands, like physical, psychosocial consequences, symptoms, treatment, etc. And the people have to come in and support them. So the supporting role becomes basically something which is outside the 2, 3, 1 pair, and this must come at the end because you can't talk about the support and then talk about self-management. You talk about the self-management and then explain what exactly self-management support is all about, right? So self-management support is the idea that goes further after self-management, and therefore the right sequence is 2, 3, 1 and 4, and this is the right answer.